Welcome to Guerrilla Discipleship. I'm your host, Kevin Baker, and have a little bit of a special message for you today. This is the last Guerrilla Discipleship I'll be able to record for a few months. I've been granted the opportunity for another sabbatical. I've taken one sabbatical in my ministry career, and I'm going to take another one. So June, July, and August, I will not be recording any and speaking with you. I've got some plans to read, maybe do a little bit of writing, and really to do a lot of listening. I just have a sense that God is inviting me into a season of prayer and inviting God to speak into me about the upcoming next steps for kingdom building. Part of what's going on, if you don't know, there's so many great things happening. We have seen the formulation here in the D.C., Washington, D.C. area of D.C. Underground, which is a network of networks, kingdom building networks, disciple making networks, and the explosion of what's happening there is so exciting. Partnerships are developing. In addition to that, what God is using us at Oakdale to do, and how we're seeing disciples who are becoming engaged in disciple making, who are moving from just I'm a Christian to I really want to be a disciple. I want my lifestyle to be like Jesus, and I want to help others adopt a lifestyle like Jesus. What's happening is phenomenal, and there is so much more that I could talk to you about, both locally but globally, really, that God is doing. It's a time of great celebration, even though in many ways the world is in chaos. But my sense is that I need a break to pray, to pull aside. And so the board of Oakdale Church has granted that. The congregation is supportive of that. And so I just wanted you to know that you won't see me, but you'll see Pastor Tim. And Pastor Tim has lined up 3 months of wonderful programming, wonderful conversations. There'll be folks that you've never met before that are going to come and talk with us here at Guerrilla Discipleship, and I'm hoping that you will be blessed. I know that you will be. In fact, you're going to say, boy, I hope we don't go just back to hearing Pastor Kevin talking. So hopefully we can keep up with new voices, new thinking, more conversation. That's our goal. Our goal is, if we already had this all worked out and figured out, we would be, somehow just passing out training material. We are discovering and pioneering together what it looks like to move into our culture, the existing churched culture that we have, to partner with legacy churches, but to partner with folks who are just coming to faith, to move from convert to disciple, so that we help people hear the gospel, hope they come to a place of receiving the gospel message in their hearts, and then we'll disciple them too. We're going to start discipling them, and somewhere along the line we know that God will use His Spirit to convert them, to give them new birth, and we're going to continue the process of discipling. I am absolutely convinced that one of the most significant issues that the church in the West is facing today is that we have given church people enormous information. I mean, we have preached and preached. We have given doctrine, and oh my goodness, have we talked about information. It would be almost as if we have spent the last 1,000 years talking about making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We've gone into the very core of what is peanut butter. Where does it come from? How do you make peanut butter? Are there different types of peanut butter? There's chunky and there's smooth. And then we've talked about all the varieties of jelly, and we've talked about, does it need bread? Could it be crackers? I mean, we have discussed and discovered and all kinds of, we've gone into the very molecules of peanut butter and jelly and bread and all of the rest of that. But the one thing we haven't done is we've never really helped people discover how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They know all of the ingredients, they know all of the nutrients, they know the chemical makeup of all of the parts of it, but they've never actually seen a peanut butter and jelly sandwich made, nor have they ever tried. We haven't talked about how to hold the knife or where do you get the peanut butter. I mean, all of the simple things. And I know that analogy may seem simple to you, but I believe, have hundreds, thousands, I'm afraid millions of people in the church in the West who have never taken one real step toward making a disciple, even though that's the Great Commission, to make disciples, because they still don't feel prepared. They still don't feel ready. And no matter how much information we give them, it won't ever help them, because the only way to figure out how to do something is to apprentice and do it, is to actually begin to make mistakes, to grab a spoon instead of a knife and figure out, or a fork and say, wow, a fork doesn't work to do this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or whatever it is, right? To realize that sometimes, depending on how cold your peanut butter is, it will just rip the bread open, and man, it's hard to spread. All of the kinds of things that you can talk about, but really doesn't make a difference until you begin to do the work. At Guerrilla Discipleship, we're committed. We're really committed to moving from information about being a disciple to knowledge about how to make disciples, to actually becoming a practitioner as a disciple maker. And these short videos that we share each week are meant to spur on, provide tools. We're still perfecting this. We still are pioneering in this. There are others that are doing it way better than we are, and we want to encourage connection to them. But our mission is to be as useful as we can for God, to help disciples become disciple makers, and to make disciple makers who multiply disciples. That's our goal. And so while I won't see you for a few months, you will still regularly be given an opportunity to plug into Guerrilla Discipleship with some great speakers, some great teachers, great apprentices, and great tools. And I ask that you'd pray for me for June, July, and August. I'll be praying for you, but I'll also just be seeking God's voice, God's heart for what His next steps for us. The mission is too valuable. It's too important for us to not constantly be saying, God, what can we do? So we take that mission seriously. I take that seriously. So I won't see you for a couple of months. I hope you'll hang in here with this. It's going to be great. And I'll be back in the fall, and we will continue to adventure together to see what God's going to do. So thanks so much for continuing to be a part of Guerrilla Discipleship. You're in my prayers. I hope you'll remember me, and I'll see you in September. God bless.